What up? What up? Welcome to another episode of Behind the Boot, a Louisiana sports podcast, where you get everything in Louisiana sports, whether that's Saints, Pelicans, LSU basketball, football, whatever it is in Louisiana sports, we got you. This is episode 7. If y'all stopping by again, we appreciate y'all. If this y'all first time, y'all definitely in for a solid little podcast. So we pretty much gonna start it off with you know, the biggest topic in Louisiana sports right now, man. We gotta talk about the Pelicans and how they basically blew away all of their play-in chances. What y'all think is the cause, man? If we had point the blame at who y'all point at? Go ahead and start with Jared. What you think, Jared? Who we putting the blame on?
I'm blaming first off Fat Stan for terrible coaching. Uh, let's just let's just not forget how he had poor rotation management like all year long with leaving Eric Bled shit into the game in the fourth quarter when he wasn't doing not a damn thing. Like why wouldn't you put people out there to help you win the game? That's first things first. I mean, you cannot forget about Griff. He the one that assembled the fucking roster with these people like Nico Melly that couldn't buy a fucking bucket. JJ Redick in the beginning of the season couldn't buy a bucket. So we were relying on them to get us buckets, not name BI and Zion. That cost us how much games?
A
Seven, eight,
lot.
maybe 10 games, maybe more than that. But I don't know. I think you can't forget about the players too because players have to execute when that time comes. But for me, uh, Fat Stan gets what's the blame?
I think that's a accurate assessment. That's where I would put the blame. You agreeing with us, Dan?
Come see, come saw, man. But look, you can't put all the blame on coaching. Wise man once told me this is a players' league. Coaching is when you put them in the right position to succeed. All right. Now the rotation has been a little shaky, but you got to understand that Stan is in control of the roster. So he was trying to make sure he put the best five on the floor. Now at the same time, it was like a, it was like it was weird because you had a bunch of young talented players that needed reps and minutes, and then you had a bunch of veterans that were ready to play and that were ready to win now. So Stan was in a weird position if he had a chance to, hey, should I play the vets and go on win now mode and make the playoffs, or should I just sacrifice the vets and say, fuck it, we just gonna get better younger. That way, you will be better for the future. So he was stuck in between that probably for 3 quarters of the season until it was forced. With Steven Adams getting hurt and them trading JJ and getting rid of Nico, they were forced to play the young guys, and that's when we seen that Jackson is actually a stretch five that could actually stretch the floor and could be a perfect complement big man to Jackson. I mean to Zion. Sorry. Then we already knew Nar was a bucket. That was a given. We knew that last year. But he made leaps and bounds, and that's when this team fell apart. Whenever we lost Nar and Josh Hart at the same time, I think we might have been able to weather the storm a little bit if we'd have lost either or. But Josh Hart lost the defense, and we actually been playing better on defense. But once they lost Nar, like the actual playmaking and the ability to create a shot playmaker off the bench, it was non-existent. Love Najee. Najee's a great player. I mean, a good young player, and he's developing, but he ain't no. So I just felt that the blame is on David Griffin. He should have pulled the trigger earlier. We should have went with this youth movement, and we could have got Kyra and Jackson and um, Najee Harris. I mean, Najee Marshall and Kiara Lewis minutes and reps. That way, we wouldn't have been in a position because I think if this move would have been made sooner, we could have saved 5 games. Because we lost probably about 10 close games this year in the fourth quarter that we blew leads. Let's just say we won
I
40%.
I think more. I think we might have
Might,
lost a third of
yeah,
our games in
might
the last stretch.
easy, yeah. Because let's just say we won 40% of those games. Man, that's easily the six for like 4 games. Let's say it was 10. That's 4 games. We end up playing. You know what I'm saying? So there's a small misfortune that we could have won a couple of those games, and this couldn't. It wouldn't even be in the conversation. So I think the blame is more on David Griffin than Stan Van Gundy because he's not in charge of the roster. This is the team he inherited. So he can only do with what they give him, and he was just stuck in between of winning now and getting these young guy reps. And now he doesn't have a choice but to give them reps, and we see them flourishing and getting better and better as the more reps they get. So I blame this mostly on David Griffin.
Yeah, well, y'all a whole lot nicer to stand than me. I think David Griffin, he put together the best he could with what he had in the situation. So I don't blame him fully for the roster because I don't think anybody could have called the like extreme drop off JJ Redick had, and he liked to blame it on the fact that he wasn't playing with Drew anymore and all this other stuff. But then he went to Dallas and he's still stinking it up. I don't
Yeah,
think anybody
he ain't
could have
shit.
called Melly being as horrible as he was. I think dude went like in a Pels uniform from three. I think he went 4 for 33 this season. It that's like horrible. Like I could shoot that. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure if I got up 40 shots, I could make 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? And you can't really do nothing about that. And the thing that I like about Griff is that when he noticed, like, all right, this dead, he did something to change it. And we got two decent guys. I like James Johnson. I know a lot of people think that his price tag is a little hefty for what he is. So I can agree with that a little bit. And what's won't do, I think if they decide that they want him to stick around, like he ain't really been getting that much minutes, but the minutes that he has been playing, I like the effort. You know what I mean? He's definitely better than JJ or Melly. Like it can't get no worse than what they was having. So I think we somewhat won that trade. I think the problem with the amount of L's that we have on the record is one injuries at costly times, which is neither Stan or Griff fault, and then the rotations was just terrible. You know what I mean? I think we let Steven Adams close games. Like I understand why he was a starter, why you would want him on the floor, getting the majority of minutes at the five, but closing in them clutch minutes, it should have been Jax. Like I don't care what people were saying. I know earlier in the year his defense was questionable. You know, his decision making as a young guy was questionable, but he was still doing his thing, bro. Like Jax deserved to close games. He played with more energy and he can do more than Steve can. You know what I mean? And Eric Bledsoe, as much as I take up from, he ain't had no business with the majority of minutes at the two. It's just impossible, bro. I don't
He
see
ain't no
what
shit.
yeah, I don't see what Stan little infatuation with Bled is. I know a lot of people make the argument like if you sit him, it kill any value that he have to move him in the offseason, which is somewhat valid because I don't think they was gonna do shit anyway. But it would have been nice. Like I feel like not making the play in this year was a huge fail for the organization. Like it just shouldn't have happened. You know what I
I would
mean?
say
You
this though. Ryan. Not mean to cut you off. But I think Bled definitely increases trade value in the past 10, 11 games, showing that he can
nah for
still
sure.
play when he's engaged. But the problem is he quit on this team months ago, and he been playing shitty months ago. And the end of the season, whenever he knew basically we didn't have a chance for him to play in, he started to turn it on and play a little better. Because why? Because they know that he's going to get traded. Like they're going to move on from him in the offseason. He's going to be somewhere else. So he increases trade value to show that he still has some value to maybe a playoff team or a contender that he can go to. Um, but man, I just don't. I don't know. I really don't really agree with you saying this. Really stand fault. I just don't think he has that much power, man. Like honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think
He
David
he make
Griffin.
he make the rotational calls. When he
I don't
calling
know,
them
man.
timeouts and he's
What
subbing people, it's not
what what
Griff making
that
substitution.
he's doing that in game. But as far as like the minutes being like spread out with everybody, like that's going through David Griffin and Trina Landon. He's like they sat Jax down for nothing. Like I really think that you should have played Jax through that. Like yeah, he was struggling a little bit, but you sit him down for like 10 games when he was like basically a DNP. Like he didn't even play. Like that killed a young player. I'm glad Jax came out of it and he was better for it. But like now you see that he's definitely a better option right now than Steven. I think that Steven is maybe a better rebounder and a little stronger. But Jackson is going to come with it. He's going to get stronger and become a better rebounder. But as far as shot blocking, rim protection, actual able to switch on the screens and stay in front of people, and wow, he's stretching the floor 6 for 11 from three. I know the small sample size, but hey, he's on the floor. He can at least shoot a mid range, and he's shooting with confidence. This is not no, oh, I'm gonna just shoot because I'm open. Like he catching and he's shooting. Like this is
Yeah.
what we need next to Zion. So like maybe we can get some value for Steven Adams. You know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody need, LA Clippers, somebody, maybe get a first rounder or maybe something like that. Or anybody. I just think that we got some value veterans that can still provide some minutes to maybe a good playoff contender team and we get some pieces from.
But I mean, and you know, being real, what you think the return value for somebody like Steven Adams is? Because I can't see nobody giving up anything worth a damn for
Oh,
just
I think we still
rebounding
get a
and
first.
strength.
I think we get a first on a player. It just depends on the team that needs. Because I mean, because Steven, he's been nicked up this year, man. He's been nicked up. You know.
And like I mean, that is one thing to it, but I think for us, like you know what I mean, like we don't need any more picks. We need somebody who can contribute right away. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
but that's what I'm saying though. Like they're gonna get. I don't think they're gonna get. They might get a decent player for him when they trade them to a team. But what Griffith's doing, he's stockpiling picks to package those picks to get a star. Like all those
yeah,
picks are going to be packaged together to get another star. Like he's not. There's no way all those guys are going to make the roster. Like they have like 7 picks next year. I think like 3 in the first round and like fucking 4 in the second. Like they have a lot of goddamn picks. Like there's no way they're going to keep all that. So I think next year he does trade maybe Steven Adams, get another first round pick, and he's going to package maybe 3 first rounders and go get, you know, I hate maybe Bradley Bill. It depends on how that works with them in Washington. If he wants out, stuff like that. I think we can go and package it together and send and get somebody else. Madden Brogdon in Indiana. You know what I'm saying? He kind of
yeah,
want out. OG and Anobi. That could be a good package to go get him from Toronto and save his ass from Toronto. We could get somebody that could really, it's going to be a package. Deal with those picks. I don't think we're going to draft any more younger players. It's going to be somebody that can play now.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I really do believe the clock is ticking. Like I think they got 2 seasons to look like they ready
Oh yeah,
before you have to start worrying about if Zion is staying or leaving.
they
Like you
got
got to
one
prove to
season.
him
They
because
got one
he
season
ain't.
right now.
Yeah, he ain't gonna be sticking around forever trying to build a whole organization from the ground up. Not a generational talent. You know what I mean? Like you got to show him that you're capable of putting a competent roster around him, which in theory they did this season, which is why I don't give Griff as much of the blame as a lot of people because they had the shooters and stuff. That's what JJ and Melly was supposed to be. You know what I mean? And I think going into the season, they wanted to play Winion a little more than they did, but he was injured for a lot of the front half of the year.
And that sucks
But
because when they provide them that good stretch forward that could guard and and defend, I think we could have used that earlier in the season.
I
Definitely.
like
yeah,
that
for
guy.
sure,
Guy's definitely
for
solid.
sure, for sure.
Solid rotation.
But definitely, I mean, but unless I mean y'all unless y'all got any other thoughts on the Pels season or what they could have did different, I think that'll do it for the Pels, man. They tried.
Sayonara. Sayonara.
Yeah, they tried. I mean, technically they still alive right now. Like if they went out and the Spurs lose out, they'll still make the play in. So I wouldn't say it's impossible, but they're getting worked right now, so it ain't looking too good.
I didn't
But
give
And
up,
the
man.
fat lady has sung on.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Fat lady has sung.
I think that's it for the season. But
They're getting
we
20
can
points a game.
we can move on to the next topic, man. We had a big deal in Saints world. Um, Obviously we had the draft and we didn't really get to talk about how we think they did in the draft. So I guess we can go over that now. What y'all think about the picks? I think we did well. Or?
B
For,
minus.
yeah, I'm going. I say the same B, just because you need you need players to play now in those positions you picked. Uh, Peyton Turner. I mean, you just extended Marcus Davenport 5th-year option right before the draft, and yet you picked another DN just like him, basically. So, I mean, unless they plan on rotating them, mixing them along the interior line, having that NASCAR package with Cam, him, Davenport, and maybe Carl Granderson on third down. I can see that. But I don't know we needed a starter. Then you picked Werner out of Ohio State. He got potential, but he's more of a maybe potential pick. You don't know. Maybe he's gonna be good. Maybe he won't. I don't know. But I mean, he shows signs of being very fundamentally sound. Always, he's always in his gaps. He run fits good. He can cover a little bit, but that's not a strong suit. But I mean, he has potential. Then a Debo, the cornerback, he set out. I mean, he set out this year due to COVID, so he never played football in a year. So, and you need a starter at cornerback. There's no one on the opposite side of Lattimore, which he might be getting suspended in the beginning of the season. So, I mean, your cornerback depth right now, it's just looking suspect. So
Yeah,
I
I
would
think
say
that was the
just
one pick
Definitely
that I
agree with
actually
that.
liked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the one where I didn't have a problem with a Debo or however you pronounce his name. The dude
Yeah.
from you know, the one we picked
Yeah.
in the third round. But
Yeah.
just need the starters,
I
bro.
like
Just need
Paulson,
the
man.
starters.
I think Paulson will develop into that starter. It depends because I think if he'd have came out his sophomore year, he's probably going to be a first round pick. He was that good. He's a ball hawk. Gets his hair on the ball. He was a former receiver in college. Like he was actually a receiver, so the ball skills are there. He jumps the routes. He does all that. So I think that's gonna be a good pick. Um, Peyton Turn. I'm sorry. Um, I give that pick a C minus because I think that's more of a projection pick. I mean, like maybe maybe Cam Jordan won't be here in 2 years. That's more of a future pick to me. I don't think he's ready to play at all. I think maybe you picked him there to maybe learn from Cam, and then you have him and maybe Marcus finally light goes off and he's ready to go. So I think that was more of kind of a reach, very big reach to me. I think if you liked him, you probably could have got him in the second or third round to me. I think he probably would have still been there in the second round. I think Warner was a panic pick. I still give that one a B plus. He's a good player. He's a good solid player. He reminds me of AJ Klein. You know, that's his ceiling to me. He's solid in all areas. He can run a little bit. He's decent in pass coverage. Solid tackler. That's his ceiling. I think AJ Klein next to DeMarco Davis would be something real good. AJ Klein had a decent career. He's still having a decent career. I think he could be someone like that. Not too athletic. I mean, he ain't gonna be Luke Kuechly. I want Saints fans to kind of tone it down a little bit. He ain't gonna be no Luke Kuechly, nothing like that. He's not like that. But he's a good, solid player. He's good in all aspects, you know. So, um, ah, Paulson Adebo, I think he could develop into a good starter. Just depends, man. We don't have our DB coach anymore, Aaron Glenn. So who knows how the guy's going to develop those guys because he worked the wonders for about 6 years with the Saints DB. So he ain't got the same guy back there coaching them up. So hey, we'll see. But overall, I think it's a decent draft. But I did think Warner was a panic pick because Sean Payton was taking Terrence Marshall. Like he was taking him, and I thought he was gonna fall right in our lap. And of course, the goddamn Panthers want to play a hate, and sent him
Yeah.
over one pick before him. So
And
you
apparently
know,
they only did it because they got word that we was taking them. Like we had
yep.
already
And
was
they didn't
like
even need a
that's
receiver,
that's
bro.
our guy. Yeah.
They didn't need a receiver.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. What y'all think about Ian Book? What y'all think the Saints was thinking with that pick?
Man, that was just a Sean Payton pick. He wanted a toy. He was in the store in the candy aisle with your mama, and your mama let you pick a candy out just to shut your ass up before y'all leave the store. That's what that was.
Yeah.
I don't think Ian Book can play, man. I just don't think. I don't see the. Like I said, maybe he see a little Drew Brees in him, but I just feel like Drew Brees coming out in college had a way stronger than Ian Book. He had a little moxie to him. He reminded me of like a little Johnny Manzielish. That's how he play a little bit. He could throw a little bit, but Johnny had a way stronger arm than him. I just don't think that he's going to be somebody that's going to be a future at our quarterback position. Maybe a backup, Chase Daniel type, but that's about it.
I mean his resume is impressive. I see a lot of people on Twitter. They like he got a whole little hive now, man. Like they got some Ian Book fans that really like the pick. I don't really see it. I didn't really follow Notre Dame like that. I mean, I look at his resume. He the most he got the most wins at quarterback in Notre Dame history. So I guess that's something. He was the guy that came off the bench to beat LSU in the Citrus Bowl on his freshman season. I can't remember what happened, but he came off the bench and dotted LSU
Yep.
up.
Remember that?
Um, but
Yeah.
he got a nice little resume. So and a lot of people big on him. So I guess I see give him a chance, but I don't really like it. I think the league, me personally, I guess this might be a little hot take, but I think the league kind of moving towards you gonna have to have somebody that can move outside of the pocket. You know what I mean? And I don't know if he really great
And
at
he
that,
he
but
he can move a little
Well,
bit.
he
He got
can
a little
move.
speed on him. I just don't think he has
Yeah.
that. He don't got that zip on the ball. Like I went back and looked. I think his deep balls really flutter. Like he throws a lot of ducks, and he had a lot of big receivers in Notre Dame, so it made up for his mistakes that he was throwing short. And they would go up and get the ball. Like he had a 6'8" tight end, 2'6" receivers, 6'4" receiver. You know, it made up for it. But I just don't think that he has the arm strength to succeed. Remind me of Matt Barkley and those guys. Good solid backup. Come in and manage the offense. Good game manager. I think he could be.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I always like I feel like a lot of drafts with the Saints are kind of at the moment I'll feel disappointed, and then 2 or 3 years later, I'll look back like, all right, they did their thing. You know what I mean? Like, so I got faith in whatever they see. Hopefully, it work out. But I guess we just gonna have to wait until stuff happen. Actually, before we move on for the Saints, the schedule came out, man. What y'all think? Looking at it, what's your projection? How many wins we get? 17 games this year too. Remember that.
10-7.
10-7. I like that. That's actually a success. If we go 10-7, in my book, that's a success.
10 and
I
7.
agree. The thing I was looking at the most is the late games. Down the line, like when it starts getting clutch time to whether or not you make the playoffs or not. Uh, and if they have any outside games, like in the cold, uh, I know they got Tennessee, but I think uh, it might be cool, it might not. But they got Tennessee kind of early on in the season. But they got the New York Giants. Yeah, New York Giants. Uh, so, but we don't have Drew Brees no more. So
Yeah.
Jameis can sling the ball in the elements. So you being like, oh shit, Saints playing outside in the cold. Oh man, I don't know if Drew Brees can get it there. Those days are over.
Yeah.
So Jameis, I think we'll be okay now that we have a younger quarterback that can sling the rock. But I agree with Dan. 10-7. I feel like they can pull that out.
Yeah. I was gonna say an 8-win season if I had to
Oh,
guess.
please,
I was
please,
gonna say an
bro.
8-win season,
Eight
man.
and
But
nine? No, that's bad. That's terrible.
I'm not so on Jameis being able to like really win games. You know what I mean? Cause like I feel like with the way the roster is moving defensively, it's not gonna be as easy to do like what Taysom showed in them 4 games where you can just kind of like barely do some shit. Like we gonna need somebody that do more than just like not lose the game. Like can Jameis actually go and win it for us? And I'm not so that he's that dude.
I think so. I think
I
he's
got
good.
faith in him. I got
I
faith.
think
Like I
he.
see.
I think Taysom Hill was horrendous those 4 games,
Yeah, he was, and but that was my point was that he didn't play
and we won in
well.
spite of him. We won in spite of him.
Yeah, like he didn't play well, but he did just enough to not
Mhm.
lose.
I
You know what I
think
mean?
James. Yeah, I think James is like miles ahead of Taysom Hill in being
Well,
able to
yeah, yeah,
process
yeah.
and diagnose a defense. Like there were
Yeah,
people running wide open against Denver and Philadelphia, and he was flat out missing them and taking sacks and holding on to the ball. Like that's Taysom problem. He just can't process information as quick as James can, because James been doing this. You know what I'm saying? James has actual starting experience. Turnover machine sometimes, but I think I think if James would have played, we would have blew those guys out, all of them.
yeah.
I
I
don't think
mean,
possible.
we'll see. I think I don't know the reasoning behind them going Taysom over Jameis. I feel like a lot of it was they didn't want what happened with Teddy to happen with Jameis, where somebody else just throw the bag at him and we lose him. So it might have been a good call, but we'll see, man. I'm just not completely sold that Jameis can do that because I think with the few areas that we did take a step back in, it's not going to be as easy as it was for when Teddy did, when Taysom did. So
Quick
we'll just have
question
to.
before we move on though.
What's up?
Over or under James 30 touchdowns this year.
I think that's realistic. I'm gonna go over.
He playing
Yeah,
17 games. That's 2 touchdowns a game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I think
well,
he got it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so so over or
Over,
under 20 interceptions.
over.
Over
That's
20?
tough.
If we go over 20, we gonna be 7-10, bro.
Now you know what? I just need to see. I just need to see what type of version of James I'm gonna get. Like, did
I
he
don't think
really
Sean's
learn
gonna
from
put him
Drew
in.
Brees? Did
But
he
see,
really
that's
learn
a
how to check the ball down when your read is not there? Did he really learn to not force the ball? Like, hey, Jameis, you do have Alvin Kamara right there in the flat or on the curl right there. Check the ball down. We all know Alvin can take a 5 yard play and house call it, or get you 25, 20 easy. As long as he learned that, I feel like he can really thrive in the offense. We
but
got
that's
weapons.
yeah, but that's another thing I want to take y'all about. Like, coaching is a lot more important in football than basketball.
For sure.
Oh, I
Like,
think Sean Payton won't let James get to the point of throwing 20 fucking interceptions. I think
yeah,
he's gonna put him in. I think he's gonna protect him early on a lot in the season and make sure he doesn't lose any confidence. And I think he's gonna turn him loose those last 10 games. I think he'll throw the whole playbook. I think he got the playbook down already, but I think he's gonna really turn him loose, let him go those last 10 games. I think he's gonna protect him those first 7.
yeah. I think to Jared point, like if Jameis learned from Drew as far as like just improving on decision making. Because we could say what we want about Drew Brees, but between the ears, he was probably the most talented quarterback in the league. So I think if even a little bit of that rubbed off on Jameis, and we can establish like now that obviously Jameis gonna have an arm. He gonna be able to get the ball downfield. He gonna be able to do those type of things. Like if he can establish that, opening up those dump offs and screen passes to Alvin, it's gonna be crazy, bro. It's gonna be like our offense gonna be super exciting. Like if that's the case, like I think James is gonna be one of them dudes. You gonna have to pay him a lot of money if he could just not throw over 20 interceptions. I'm gonna go under to answer your question. I'm gonna go under because I really got faith in Sean. I got faith that, like you said, the coaching is really important, and I think Sean is gonna be able to figure out a way to make Jameis successful. And if he can't, then Jameis just ain't gonna never be successful, honestly. But I got faith in him. I just don't know if I'm completely sold. But we gonna stay football. We're gonna just move over to them Bayou Bengals, man. What's y'all give me the update on
Tigers.
what's going on with LSU, man.
Oh God. Right now, they're about to lift the dead period, so recruiting is about to start. Wade got you said about 17, maybe 20 official visits coming within the next couple of weeks. Get some recruits in. Uh, it's gonna be a year since they was able to actually communicate in person with recruits and their parents and everything. So you're looking for a big turnout there. Uh, the freshmen never came in yet. The freshmen that from the recruiting class that never got early enrollment, like Sage Ryan, uh, you know, all the rest, the other safety, the other guys, the freshmen, they're gonna come in. Then summer, start getting some work in. But everything else, I was just off the bench. They interview eight every Tuesdays, and all it was is just him talking about recruiting, just recruiting, trying to get some guys in. He talked about T.J. Finley, you know, my boy, bro, my boy transferring, going to another school. Too bad. I really had high hopes for the guy. I really liked him. By far the most arm talent in that quarterback room. Uh, but I think the interceptions kind of played a part in him taking uh, you know that third man spot in the rotation. But I still feel like he's gonna be good wherever he goes. The guy has a high ceiling. So, but other than that, you know, he's either Miles or old boy, bro. That was his name, Max.
Yeah.
So,
I got Max
What's
Johnson winning that QB battle, and shout out to TJ Finley, man. Ponchatoula, Louisiana, man. Wherever you go, man. I
thanks.
hope you succeed, man. I was really hoping the best for you, man. Especially seeing a black quarterback at LSU, man. You don't see those too often. I was really rooting for him. I really think he got a fair shake in the offense. I really didn't think they designed for him, so it's just more of a scheme fit for him, man. I hope he goes somewhere that they could, really take in his talent and use him well, man. Wherever you go, man, I'll be pulling for him, man.
Big thanks.
what's up?
He said he really wanted to stay. It was a hard decision for him, but he said his parents told him that they don't
Nah, man,
think the
he
situation
need to
was
go.
right.
He
So
need to
his
go
parents
and,
told
and,
him
and find
he had
somebody
to
that
go.
want him.
Yeah. So he said
Oh, he
it
was
was
diehard
a
LSU,
hard
man.
decision. Yeah.
He early in the
Said it was a
road,
hard
man.
decision.
He was definitely LSU. He was LSU to the bone, man. So like I said, man, you hate to see those guys. You hate to lose those guys because they really love the school. They just not
Yeah.
there just for a ride. He want to be a Tiger. So
But I'll tell you what, though. I mean, I can't tell you the last time we had a quarterback battle like this. I mean, I'd rather have this problem, having three quarterbacks to choose from that can easily start, rather
facts.
than having, you know, a
One,
single one. A
Yeah.
single
the
one.
one that's not even good, like some damn
Yeah.
Brendan Harris. If you
Yeah.
can't get Brendan Harris no goddamn competition, it's a problem. So we ain't got that problem no more. So
I'd
I
rather
think
have,
that's
it's a
gonna do
good
some good.
problem, bro.
Great
Definitely.
problem.
I'd rather have that problem.
Yeah. And we definitely gonna keep our ear to the streets for more news because it's gonna be happening pretty quick. Football season is real close, so there should be a lot of new updates and everything that we can give to people. But unless y'all had anything else, man, I think that might do it for this week.
Got some LSU basketball news, Ron.
All right,
Uh,
what you got?
Well, I listened to the Jordy Hortberg show on the 137 The Game today, and he interviewed Kim Mulkey, man, and what a solid woman. I'm really excited. I'm really debating on buying a couple of tickets to go see those Lady Tigers in there, and she's
Solid
very
woman.
motivated, man, and she's excited to be home. And I already got a top flight sitting in the transfer portal transferring to already. She taking it from Baylor, so I think she'll be a winner quicker. She wants us to be patient. Another thing is she sold over 3,500 season tickets already. So she packing that PMAC, and it's gonna be rocking for them girls, man. I'm really looking forward to that. Um, in other news for the boys though, um, Will Wade looking like a goddamn cowboy shooting son of a gun, just snatching any and everybody.
Indeed.
Got the this guy got the god of Zeus himself striking down this program, trying to give him the boot. He's still pulling in 5-star centers, bro, and
Big
5-star
facts.
recruits, bro. Like he's seven. He got a 7-footer. Afton Reed, man, looked like he 7 foot 240 pounds, bro. He's a stretch big and he's very athletic, man. Look like he's from Florida, look like, but
IMG. Thing with IMG again.
IMG Academy. He actually came out Saturday. I was looking at the Bleacher Report, and they said he had committed to Rutgers, and he backed off that commitment quick. And then, come to find out, Will Wade went snatch him up like a ground ball. So
Mm-mm.
he a Tiger, man. I just don't know how this guy's doing it, man. He also got 3 transfers, and he got a transfer from Illinois, starting the freshman of the year in the ACC. I mean the Big East. I'm sorry, in Illinois, and he's coming to Louisiana. He's coming to LSU. And he's a starter last year, so he's going to come and take Cam Thomas' place. He's a scoring guard. They also got a guy from Mizzou, also another point guard. He was also averaged 15 points. So they loading up on offense. They're going to have a lot of ball handlers that's going to be able to put the ball in the hoop. Kind of contrary to what they had last year because they had one guy, maybe two. Well, they had Javante and Cam Thomas. That was the whole team. They had nobody else.
Big
So
facts.
he's
Well,
transforming that team.
yeah, chicken and waffle.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
Chilling, yeah, Chilling okay, but I mean, Chilling's a big man, you know. So I
Yeah.
think they lost the guy from Baton Rouge, the little guy they had that Cuckoo last year. I forgot his name. Was it Josh LeBlanc? It was something like
Josh
that.
Gray.
But no, not Josh. No, Josh Gray was a long time ago, boy. But anyways,
His name is Josh Gray again.
it might be, but he was from Baton Rouge, but he was a 5-star recruit, and he transferred out. So they lost a good player, young player. So I really think that I don't know what it is, man. Like I'm just confused on if something really gonna happen to Will Wade. Is this shit gonna really happen? Because he just keep on bringing these ballers to the program, and it's like they don't care. They just still coming. Like I don't understand. So we'll see
Yeah.
how that plays out.
Well, I mean,
Only
I
if
hope
he
they
for
do,
president.
cause I definitely want to see like LSU basketball do something, cause it's been a while since we was like a real tournament threat. So I'm really excited to see if they get that together, cause I think the women's gonna be straight. Like the women's basketball, they're gonna be give them 2 3 seasons, they're gonna be fine. Like all it's gonna take is a few little recruiting classes. I think with
Oh yeah, they're
a
gonna be
five
top at
star
two.
coach, yeah, they gonna be the, it's gonna be a lot of girls that want to come and play for her. You know what I
They don't
mean?
want to come back, man. Because remember, like I said, LSU was the school to beat in the SEC. Like you want to go play for LSU. It wasn't no Mississippi State or no South Carolina. It was LSU and Tennessee. That's what you want to play for in SEC.
Yeah,
That's it. Pat Summit and LSU. That was all they
yeah,
had.
yeah.
So
That's what's up. Well, we definitely gonna keep our ear to the streets on that. Y'all had anything else before we wrap up?
that's it, man. I'm just real excited, man. Just these next couple of months with this recruiting and training camp starting. It's gonna be real interesting.
Yeah, I'm definitely ready to like get into the podcast whenever football season start. Cause each week we gonna have a nice little discussion about the Saints. Stuff always get real, but I think that'll be it. Episode 7. If y'all came back, rock with us again for episode 7. We appreciate y'all. Hope to see y'all again next week. Before we get up out of here, tell the people where they can find you at, Dan.
Look at DJ Go. Look at underscore DJ Go. GEAUX. Cajun Way. All platforms, Insta and Twitter.
Yes, sir. Jerrette, tell the people where they can find you at.
Your boy is on Twitter at Go With the Flow. Go with underscore DA Flow, the Cajun way, FLEAUX. And I'm not really on Instagram, so Facebook, Jerrette Popillion. Hey, but one thing. Shout out to my Uncle Manuel and Kelly, bro. You wanted me to shout them out, bro. Shout out to you, Uncle
That's
Manuel.
what's up, man. Shout out to our
Shout out to
people,
the
man.
man, dear ones, man. Shout out.
Shout out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He
And
said
y'all
his
could.
Vikings gonna take it all. He said.
Oh, come on, man. Come
Please,
on, man.
please.
I like
Not
Justin
this
Jefferson,
year.
bro.
That was some
Not
Uncle
this year.
Kirk. That was some Uncle Kirk back there, man. Ain't happening.
Even though, son, as much as I hate the Vikings, I really do be pulling for Justin Jefferson, man. I really
Oh,
like
of
that dude.
course.
I really like that dude.
Like,
But
like I said, the only Kirk I acknowledge is Kirk Franklin.
How about Kirk's slaughterhouse, bro?
I like Kirk's. I got some solid oxtail over there, bro. That's more of a local flavor, though, man.
I feel it, man. But y'all can follow me at Lil Doom SG, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. That's my name on all platforms, and I'll also be putting that in the description. So if y'all want to follow us, let us know if y'all disagree with our takes. Let us know if y'all like the episode. Whatever y'all want, just get at us, man. Appreciate y'all for coming back for episode 7 again, and we'll catch y'all next week.